Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. Last time, we got ourselves a centrifuge over here, set in the thermal centrifuge mode to allow us to start putting that through our system over here. Now, I did set up a macerator, since we already set one up before. However, that's not the focus on today's episode. We'll be doing that, probably hooking it up really quick later. But today, we need to get something else started. I'm kind of sick and tired of using all of these titanium ones, titanium engines, to be able to power everything. I haven't looked at another thing yet, but I did look up the, I think it's Elite. Is that right? The Elite. A large miner. Looks like that, but it's higher up. It's combustion engine. Extreme combustion engine. Which requires these HSSG cables. Now, think that you could be able to craft it, but no. Even though I have the styrene, I have the polyvinyl chloride, we now need ourselves some thin polyphenylene. And we don't have that. We can make the HSSG wire. We are literally just needing to make ourselves some of this polyphenylene sulfide. Sorry, it's polyphenylene sulfide. So, we're going to go ahead and set that up today. Thinking of powering it up off of this line, since we have the nice big battery here that can kind of control some other things. I may have forgotten, however, to do a couple transformers. So let's go ahead and make ones that we need. We need this one. Should be pretty quickly. Oh. Uh-oh. Are we out of power over there again? No. Is there a reason it can't be pulled out? It says the device is online. What if I... Oh. Interesting. Sounds like it did it. That was strange. I have no idea what was going on there, but... we can also get ourselves the medium voltage. We're going to want to wait on that, actually. I was worried that this thing had died on me, because I've had that happen before to find out what happens with that, but it seems to all be working properly. And I need to get... why is it doing this? Good plan. The only thing that I can think of is that it's already being grabbed by something else and it's not recognizing it, which the thing that doesn't make any sense to me is I was working with that earlier. I have not had a single problem with that. And we can do that one last one. What is going on? Like, makes no sense. I don't know if some, like, update got pushed out that messed with all of it. we got all of them now. Okay. So now, after dealing with that fiasco, we can go ahead and figure something else out. So, we were coming over here. We just got to bring out single line. This one. Nope, not that back. This one. Okay. We're going to bring out a single line. And we're going to shoot it across just like that. So that I can wire up this one. And then we're just going to have to grab out our screwdriver and revert that. Now this is where we're going to power up our advanced chemical reactor, which will be the last part of the process. We can go ahead and pull out this one. Want this one facing just like that. This one facing just like that. And then again, make sure they're all doing... Oh, no, we want step down. What am I doing? We want step down. That's right. Okay. So there we go with that. And now we can set up the other two reactors, one on top of the other, and make certain that our wires connect them. And there we go. So now we're going to have a full amount of power through here. That's exactly what we're hoping to get. I think one thing that should be a good idea as well, although yes, the transformer is tiered, so you'd have to get a different tier of transformer for that. Yeah. So we'll leave it as it is. It should work fine for the moment. But we now need to set up to get ready for this recipe. So we need sodium sulfide and dichlorobenzene and oxygen to make ourselves a bucket and a half of polyphenylene sulfide. The only other recipe is with air. The only reason I would say let's not do that is that we yield less, and there is no way to make it more, what's the word? Equal? More round? Because with this, then you'll put it into sheets and you'll get the 144. So that's not too concerning right now. However, I should make ourselves a fluid solidifier in the meantime. See, and that one worked just fine. I don't get it. We'll let that go while we figure this out. So, the first part we need is we are going to need ourselves this sodium sulfide. To get that, we literally just need sodium and sulfur. Before we do that, let's double check this one. Yeah, so I do have this recipe. That was the other one I wanted to look at. We'll just have to figure out, probably deposit the hydrochloric acid back into the system, as it's something we do use. And then we don't have to worry about voiding anything or any other weird recipes. And that'll give us the dichlorobenzene. So, give ourselves this fluid solidifier. We'll probably place that somewhere else. But, for now, yeah, we'll figure that out in a minute. We need ourselves a cable to bring over. It looks like we got one right there. Just gotta grab out. Where did they? Oh, there they are. Like they're around here somewhere. I know I got something. But things always tend to hide in your inventory when you need them. Alright, and then we can sneak on in. Bring it up. And we actually want to bring up... That's gonna be tricky. Probably do something like that then. Okay. So. Now that I think about it as well, we probably want this one to be our sodium sulfate, since there is no byproduct, so we have to worry about piping back in. And probably as well, let's go ahead and grab out some different colored cables so that we can actually set this up to have a secondary pipe from here out and around to where we're going to place our I can't think of the name. We're going to place our fluid solidifier over here and run it from there. So we do need our different colored cables again. There we go. Out and around. And then that can go straight down into where we are solidifying it. Okay, so now this comes the fun part. So we need 1 and 2 export buses. And then an interface. Where did that go? There it is. So let's look at buses. We need export buses. We'll need 2 of those, 3 of those total, I think. 4 of them total. Right? What does this one make as another byproduct? Just salt. So technically 1 more. Oh boy. And then we need 1, 2, or sorry, 1, 2, 3. Export or import. Oh, they're gonna take a second there. I thought I had some ready. Do I not? I do not. I have some import buses ready. So we can go ahead and take... Oh, no. That one's going to have to be... Here, we'll solve that. No, they're not touching. Sweet. Fix that real quick. Okay. Ah. I don't want to be stuck. So, import bus needs to be here, here, and here. And the reason I want the import buses is because then I can filter this one to be our hydrochloric acid. And I can filter this one to be our dichlorobenzene. And I can filter this one to be that. That one doesn't matter so much. We could use like interface instead. I actually might do that because then that allows me to export the salt. We can just say, let's look at that, and the salt. And then the salt can come out into the system. Okay. Now our export buses should be done. We have ourselves 1, 2, 3, and yes, we need... Oh, that's right. That one goes over here. Right there. 4. Okay. So this one will only export the dichlorobenzene. Oh no, we want storage. Want storage? We'll check it out. Sodium. We gotta actually bring another... We need an interface here. And we're gonna have to put a pump on it, because this needs to supply 8 oxygen. So let's go ahead and say... oxygen... Just need to put in oxygen. Oxygen. So we need to supply... Ooh. Good to know. So do know that we have something we can steal off of in the back. Back at, do that. And I just realized this one actually can output at the top. We need our import bus right there. That's going to be those two. Oxygen I'll grab from the bottom. Now the question is, where did I have that machine? I had a machine that had one of those that I took it off of there because I don't need it to have it anymore. And I don't remember for sure which one it was. Is it over here? Oh, it's up top. That's right. It's the distillery, or not distillery, the autoclave. Because I had to set up recipe for carbon fibers as we ran out of a lot of them. So we can go ahead and grab off our fluid regulator. And seeing as we only need 8, I think this will be enough. Where is... right there. Fluid regulator. And we need... keep exact. We need 8 buckets. Import. And that should slowly put in the full 8 buckets. And ta-da! All done. Okay. So now, this is where things are going to start to get a little bit fun. So I had somebody mention to me I should do some auto crafting. And we are indeed going to do that. However, I don't know if this is going to work the way I want it to if I leave it there. So I think I need to take that off and have it come around front. Actually, no, it will work because you need a redstone card for it to read redstone. Duh. Okay. Not there. There. Take that off. Okay. So, now we need ourselves the fluid solidifier down. We need to have this import both sodium. Sodium. There we go. Some sodium. Ooh, this has got to be an interface, doesn't it? No, we could just get an arm. We just need an arm, that's it. Arm. So we'll wait on that while we get that made up. Okay, so we could do the top one then instead, because that one is chlorine and benzene. So let us say we need benzene. And chlorine. We get chlorine, benzene, put it together. Let's do the round robin thing. And then with that mechanical arm, we can go ahead and set up the bottom one and make sure it says supply or keep exact 2. I think it just needs 2 of the other one. Yeah, so we can do sodium and sulfur. This is going to take a second, but as it stores up its buffer, it should eventually get ready. We do need ourselves the sodium and sulfur. Let's do sodium and sulfur. Okay, that's not how that... So we do need an interface. So we'll take that off so it doesn't continue to do this. Okay, let's get ourselves an interface out. I kind of forgot about that. Minor problem is that the export bus will continue to push despite you not wanting it to. So we can put in our sulfur, it'll supply the 1, and sodium, it will supply the 2. And there we go. And so now that's going to make our sodium sulfide. And this one will eventually, I believe, make our chlorobenzene. Set recipe, die. Number 2. And now we should see that produce stuff. This one will only take dichlorobenzene. This one will take our hydrochloric acid. But not... I guess you still need... Oh, the benzene's coming out. That should be going in there. I don't see why that's not working. What if I tell it to push out of that side? Is this like a limitation of the... Okay, I really don't get what's going on at this point. Ooh. Let's do a filter and test it that way. Might have to do a filter interface again. Though at the same time, my guess is that that's because that needs to be a storage bus. So let us try that instead, actually. I think we already ended up discussing this in a... Somebody left a comment in one of my videos about the storage buses, why it worked, and I was like, huh. Interesting. And here we go, storage bus. Right there. Now, the question is... So it is importing now. Is this one going to... No, we need to put the... Put that there. And we should see it go. And there we go. We got our very first batch of liquid polyphenylene sulfide. And now this will come over here. And I think we also need to have... Actually, this got me gotten an idea here. Maybe I do this. And now we got to get ourselves a ingot mold. So let me go ahead. I think I got mold, no, blank, steel. Yes, I don't have it set up to auto craft, but we can grab out 4 ingots. Get it crafted up really nice and quick. I think the only thing I need to do is go get a parallel version, which I should have one right there, casting mold. Okay, take that up top. And then we can grab out that steel. Take it over to a press. Switch it to number 4. Disable auto output. Something's telling me I did this wrong. Recipe. It is... Okay, so we gotta do this first. I knew there was something I was missing. And that's what I'm pretty sure it was. So... Whomp. Whomp. Switch this to 2 again. Pull it out. And re-enable. Now we just need our forming press, which I believe is right there. Do I still have the other one over here? I do. Okay. Oh, well, take this out. Put that together. And great, we got ourselves another mold. So we can deposit this one back where it goes inside of this machine. And go grab ourselves... right here. I'm looking for big structures still. And place it right there. So now we are going to want ourselves... I don't think I grabbed out another one. We want ourselves an interface. And just plop it on like that. And then that, I don't think is going to get stored. Oh no. Yeah, we don't want that. It's not supposed to go in that face. Why did it do that? Okay, we're gonna have to figure this out here. Let's do a storage bus really quick. Storage bus. I don't know why I keep typing in there when it doesn't help me. Storage bus. Okay, that will solve our issue. And I think we put a stop to this machine for now. Oh, gotta swap this back here. Because I didn't realize that this was actually wired up for... I know I switched it out, but originally it was wired up for IV power like these ones were with the two EVs. But I decided to hold it to the two because I didn't think I had 3 of them ready. There we go. Our storage bus is finished. Place the storage bus there. And set it to our liquid polyphenylene sulfide. Why did that go in there? Ugh. Where'd it go? I need a thing here. Boom. There we go. That's gonna fill up there. Basically, the only way we're going to clear this out now is emptying it, because... Okay. So now that is set to make ourselves some of these. We need one last thing down here. And actually, let's get ourselves a machine control... Let's just look up cover. No, it's not cover. Maybe it is. Cover. Maybe I just didn't auto-craft it, and I should have. That one. Machine controller. I thought I auto-crafted this. I did. Machine controller. Oop. Okay, so there is that. Let's go ahead and flip this thing back on. And just so that we can have it so that it doesn't store tons of items. I guess we need another storage controller actually too. Storage. Not controller, but bus. I do want to bring this down. And then we can set this up right there. Set up a blue cable. No, we don't want that. We want... Oh, I guess I can just have this go down. That's right. We can have this go like that. I don't think I'll be able to read it, but it's not going to matter with what we're doing. We will set it up to export at the bottom. And now that that's done, we just need to put ourselves that storage right up against it. And it will see it in our storage now. And we can just say to it, hey, when... let's get the machine controller up here. Ready to go. Guess I never pulled it out. Controller. Put the cover on, and it is currently off. But we can look at this, and we can say, hey, when you see that this thing here is above 128, giving us 2 stacks, this light will turn on, and we'll shut it down. Now, you can see it's almost there. And because it's wired right next to the machine, it actually will do that. Almost there. A few short seconds. And 3, 2, on, no more. Now, you end up with about 1 or 2 items more. So if you actually want it to be exactly 2 stacks, you'd want to set it 1 lower. But now, that will always turn on whenever we go to use our Polyphenylene Sulfide ingots, which does 2 things. It helps us from overcrafting tons of stuff we have no need of, as well as, this is actually something cool. I can, if I wanted to, import this directly into the system using an interface. And here, let's do this. I can show this how it works. Oh, no, we don't want that. Let's go ahead and... Ooh, if I pop it off, it's not going to do its thing. That's fine. We'll show this really quick. So, if I go ahead and I take this back over to my wall, which would be one way to kind of solve this a little bit easier, I could attach it on. I want to attach it over here where the rest of my rubber stuff is. So if I put it up here, it will insert a bunch of other things, and then we can go back to the other side. We will notice that it is recognized that there's enough in the system, and it will shut it off. So what I can do is I can take this off, and I can say, let's take ourselves an interface. I already have those. I don't know why I keep trying to craft them. And I can say, put it right there. It will automatically export those out into the interface, out into what it needs to, and it will go over to our storage bus. So this will allow us to craft this only when necessary. And then also keep all of the other stuff that takes a long time to craft it fully stocked for crafting more without having 32 stacks of this stuff that we're not going to be using 32 stacks for a while. So some of those materials would be better used elsewhere. That is quite nice. I'll have to use more of these. And now that I know that it's so simple, I'm probably going to do a lot more with it in these other different areas, just because having auto crafters is pretty nice. I guess somebody else told me. I wanted to find out if I could figure out terminal settings. Maybe? No. Search settings. No, somebody said that there was a way to make it so where it doesn't see the filler in the terminal here. Like if I type in filler, it actually what stuff is this again? It's tough. What if I search up tough? Oh. I think it's actually already doing it. Which if it is, that's pretty insane. Still, yeah, it doesn't show it. I scroll on nothing, so it doesn't show me what's in here. But if I look at the epoxy resin, you can still see the sheets. I had no idea that it didn't actually show up at all. That's a good thing. I didn't realize that, and I like that. Because that means I could put filler in all of this so that it uses the epoxy sheets that are not there, and I don't have so many in there. Although, I have to pull out a bunch of them and put them in the system that will automatically get grabbed out first, as they are the higher priority. But just the fact that that doesn't pop up is awesome. Cool. Well, that explains a lot. Now that we've got ourselves that new form of plastic going, we're going to be able to make ourselves the HSG cables next time, and hopefully level up our generators behind us. I think I will probably set up one more thing before then, but we'll see what happens in time. I want to thank you all for watching, and please leave a like and subscribe. I would really very much appreciate it. And you guys all have a great day. Bye!